Hello. Michelle Lee here, and I am your spiritual mentor and guide here to talk about a little bit. I was feeling inspired today to share with you an awareness around who you really are and what you believe yourself to be. And I was considering, right, like the work I do with individuals and the work I've been doing for almost 3 decades now, and how that has expanded and shifted, and my journeys in medicine, my journeys through rituals and shadow work, and just the huge awareness that we are so much more than this personality or who we think we are in this world. That yes, I am Michelle Lee, but that's just a small part of me, and who people may identify with, and who people think I am, and their perceptions of me, and even who I have thought of myself to be as a mother, a daughter, a granddaughter, an aunt, a grandmother, that there's so much beyond that, that there's this aspect, this higher self, the highest self that you are, that has the bird's eye view. You know, it's like that saying, the forest, can't see the forest for the trees, right? That being down on the ground, being in this physical form, I see each tree, and it's this life, that who I am in relationship to the people around me, who I am in relationship to the environment around me, and that is just a small part. And if we can get that 30,000 foot high view, and seeing the full forest, and being able to see more clearly where this personality is, gives us a sense and a view of who we are as a divine being, and as a divine being, as our human self. Megan and I talk about it as our human self as opposed to our divine self. And it's very easy to get locked into that human self, and what the human wants and what the human desires. And, you know, learning about law of attraction and the power that we have as spiritual beings, and trying to apply that power from our human vision. And what I've come to understand, know, and live is that so much of our power, our divine power, we have actually hidden from ourselves. And because our divine self truly enjoys the adventure of the suffering, and truly understands the oneness of who we see our perpetrators might be, or who we may see our heroes to be, that we are actually playing all of those parts. And I love how Byron Katie states it. She states that when someone comes to me for support, she doesn't see herself as a teacher. She actually sees this individual who is coming forward to her asking for support as herself. She is simply helping herself. This is another version of herself. And this has been such a powerful experience in looking through the eyes of this oneness, coming out of the vision of my humanness, which my humanness sees me as separate from other people, which automatically puts me in competition to them, right? It puts me in competition. But when I rise up and I see myself through the eyes of the divine, which is a declaration I make each and every day, that I see through the eyes of the divine, with perfect clarity, I see divine truth. I see that which is hidden. And so I declare this for myself every day, that I may see through the eyes of the divine, that I can see that I am one with each individual that comes forward. I'm one with the individuals that I see making headlines by breaking laws or harming other individuals, that I too am that person, that I too embody the duality that we see in this world. Not by accident, but because we chose this. Our divine self, the divinity of who we are, that we find can be pretty challenging to access in this human form when we are under the hypnosis of separation, under the hypnosis of limitation. We can find that very difficult to see. But as you declare, and you make the request of yourself, I want to know myself as a whole being. I want to be whole. I want to access all parts of myself, which means understanding that as I see someone harming another, I too have the capabilities of harming others. And I remember years and years ago, probably about 17 years ago, I had taken my youngest son to a park for a birthday party. And I was taking him, we were leaving, we were out in the parking lot, and I could hear this woman yelling. And I was looking around, there wasn't a lot of people in the parking lot, and I looked around, I could see her. And she was in the back seat of her car, the door was open, and she was yelling, and I could tell she was hitting somebody. And I was able to walk up behind her and see that she had two little boys, she had twins, in the back seat of her car, and she was yelling at them, and she was slapping at them, and they were trying to get away, and they were in the back of her car, and so they were on the floorboard trying to protect themselves and hiding. There were probably about 7 or 8. And in that knowing, I did not come from a space of judgment. What I came from was a knowing that in the perfect storm, under the perfect circumstances, I could be that mother. I could be in that space of fear, anger, frustration, that I could be the mother slapping and hitting my children. That's a very painful place to be in. And I knew that to be true because I had hit my children out of anger and fear. And I said very gently, "Excuse me." And she froze because I'm sure there was a sense of panic that she had been caught. And she stopped, and I said, "May I help you?" And she stood up and she looked at me and she said, "They scared me. They ran off. I was so scared." I go, "I know, I understand. It's okay. Would you like a hug?" And she stood up and she gave me a hug, and I just held her. I just held her, and her little boys just were like wide-eyed, and they were just shocked. And I hugged her, and she goes, "I was just so scared. I thought I lost them." I said, "I understand. I know." I said, "Are you feeling better now?" And she said, "Yes, thank you. Thank you." And I asked her boys, I leaned in, I said, "Are you guys okay?" And they shook their heads, yes. And I remember that moment because I was able to come out of my humanness, because my humanness would have wanted to judge her. My humanness would have wanted to say, "I would never do that." But I already knew that I would do that. I could do that. I had done that under the perfect storm. So I could understand and relate to her fear and pain, because there's nothing more painful than causing your children pain and then living with the guilt of it, knowing that they see you differently, they experience you differently because of the behavior you just experienced that you didn't know how not to do, right? And this is part of the shadow work, is understanding that I too am capable, in a perfect storm, under the perfect circumstances, to cause harm to people. Not because I'm evil, not because I want to cause harm, but because I too am in so much pain. And hurt people, wounded people, wound people. And that's why it's so important to me to be a healed healer, to go to the depths of my own shadow, to go to the depths of the truth of who I am, to understand that not only did we incarnate on planet Earth in 3D form to experience duality as an experience, but to be duality. And so that's in the understanding of, like, we are so much more than we think we are. We are the depth, we are the pain, we are the suffering, we are divinity. And true freedom in this physical form, and truly being able to enjoy the process of being dual beings and finding our way back to wholeness, is seeing through the eyes of compassion and recognizing all parts of ourselves. It's knowing ourselves. So I was feeling compelled, inspired to share this with us, because with you, with us, with me. You are me. I am you, sharing this with you. I am a version of you, and you are a version of me, so that we could co-create this experience of waking up to our whole self, And I think that's the full message. This is the work I do. I do for myself first, healing all aspects of myself, recognizing that, yeah, there are monsters that live inside me that actually enjoy the suffering, that actually enjoy the drama, that's fascinated by the human psyche, that can do harm to others. It's part of being human, with seeing that car accident and everybody slowing down to look and see what happened. It's that curiosity and loving and understanding that curiosity is a part of us. And by becoming whole, we become our most powerful self, our greatest powerful self, to serve others, to serve this planet in the most glorious ways, to serve the planet in our most glorious ways. So I invite you, if anything I shared here inspires you or creates curiosity, private message me, DM me, let's chat. We can book a call and talk about what's possible for you on your journey to wholeness, to know yourself in full expression. Yeah, just drop me a DM. I would love to chat. I love diving deep. I love accessing all parts, which takes us, right? The deeper we're willing to go into the depths, the higher we can go into the light and the higher vibrations. But if we stay very, very in a small area, like, oh, I'm not going to go into that, I'm only going to go this deep, we can only go this high. If I'm willing to go this deep, I can go this high. If I want to go this deep, I can go higher and higher. We create a wider range of full expression. So yeah, if that inspires you, if that gets you curious, then private message me, and we'll get you on the calendar, and we'll spend some time together and see what's possible for you. All right, everyone. Mwah. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.